Welcome to AllFreeCrochet.com's learning channel. Come to our website for thousands of free patterns and inspiring ideas. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, and our website to continue to receive free patterns and crafting deals. Your video host Mikey is now standing by to give you another free tutorial. Well, buckle in, ladies, because today we're going to work on this beautiful little cascading necklace. This is a 20-inch necklace. It's 3 tiers. Before I go any further, over on this side of the screen there will be links. How to crochet with wire if you've never done it before, and how to crochet with wire using beads. And those two tutorials are really essential for being able to complete this particular tutorial. Instead of me going right back to the start and showing you step by step, I want to pick up from actually just getting this tutorial done and showing you what it's all about. So today we're going to dismantle this particular necklace. Daniel has actually named this the Witch Dacda, and I just love this necklace so much that I want to do a near duplicate here that I want to keep here in the studio because I just think the coloring is just so amazing. It's heavy, it's fun, it's bold, it's almost Lady Gaga like. And today let's get started and I'm going to show you how this is done. In today's tutorial you're going to need 26 gauge wire. This is non-tarnishing wire. You can pick this up online or in major crafting stores. And what I'd recommend as well is that you get yourself a beading tray here, and this helps lay out your artwork in advance in order to work at how it goes. What I normally do though is that I just do one line at a time and then I look at it and then I do the next, so I never ever lay it out like this. You're going to need some jeweler needle nose pliers, you're going to need a toggle, and you're going to need some crimping tubes in order to seal this deal at the end. And you need a combination of 75 different beads in order to make this work. So what I've done is that there's some of the same beads in here, but I've kind of worked it out so that it actually looks pretty random when it's actually on your chest. Now what you need to be careful is some of the shapes here, like the hearts, they're actually wanting to go in on a certain angle. So for example, when you're going to string this along, you're not going to want it to do it so that it actually appears upside down. So you have to be very careful when you're stringing some of these beads that there actually might be an upside and a right side. So I'm going to show you how to do that next. So let's begin our tutorial, and we're going to string along one of the sets here first, and we're going to do from the biggest chain right to the smallest, and each one of them has a different count, so pay attention. So what I've done now is I've turned the board so that I'm going to now start stringing in this direction, and I'm going to do the largest one first. And what I want to do is I want to show you how that's done, and then the others I'm going to assume that you're actually paying attention and that you can do it yourself. Now one thing that you should be aware of is that some of the bead counts, these here that are 2, I'm counting them as 1, so I put them together like that. So there's going to be 25 different beads, but that is actually counting as 1. So that actually helps some of your creativity. And also you can do up to 50 beads per strand if you really want to get that crazy about it as well. So what I would recommend is now let's start stringing the stuff on, and all you just got to do is just wheel it out a little bit, some of your wire if it comes in a package like that, and you just want to straighten out your end and just come in and just start scooping up. And so basically with the hearts, if I go to pick up that heart, okay, I just want to straighten that out a little bit more. If I pick up that heart, I want to make sure that it's going to stay at the right angle. So I want to leave it because it's going to face down, because that is the down direction. So I want to make sure I come in from the up direction, or like come in from the top like that. So when I get around to the other one, see how that one's going to go? By the time I go around, it's going to be actually feeding in the other direction. So basically we just have to go around and start scooping these bad boys up. So as promised, I've been rotating my board off camera, so now the hearts are now facing in this direction because I'm on the other side. So again, we just want to come up through the bottom. So it's just very simple if you have stuff that you want to go up and down with. Okay, so now we have all 25 beads actually strung on, and so I'm going to only show you this once in this video. So what we need just to do is to create a slip knot like you normally would. So if this is how you do it, then great. You want to leave about a 3 to 4 inch tail on it, and do your slip knot as normal, and we show that in the other video more carefully if you're wanting that. So now we're just going to pull it snug onto your hook. So this does not count as 1, so now what we want to do is chain 7. So just grabbing the material and pulling it through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and 7. So your beads are making their way up, and they shouldn't be, but that's okay. We can just slide those bad boys down. Okay, so off camera I've slid them back down. So now we've just completed 7 chains here. So now we just want to wheel over 1. So 1 has now been moved over, and so we just want to chain around it. So just go around and then chain 1. Okay, so what I just do for myself is that I move the bead, I chain around it, so I go 1 and 2. Move the next one down, 1 and 2. And continue to do 1, 2 until all these beads are done, and I'll meet you back up, but do not finish off your chain. Okay, I just got one more bead to put on, so I'm just going to wheel it down. Okay, and so what I want to do is I want to chain around it, and now I want to count to 8. So just chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And what I want to do, just to make sure before you fasten it off, just count and make sure that they're equal. So just line up your beads together and just count the chains. So 1, 2, 2, 2. That's good. Yep. So we just want to make sure that they are balanced at the end. So just make sure they look the same, and then just grabbing your crochet hook, putting it back in, and just pulling that last one out. So in fact, I shouldn't have let that hook go out so soon. So just pull it out and then pull snug and snug. And this one is now done. So you can see all the heavy stuff is toward the bottom, and now that is ready for the next line on our board. So let's go to your next line. Let's bring that back in. Starting on your next line, then we just want to start scooping it up again, and you don't need to see me doing that. So scoop this next line up. There should be a combination of 25. Make sure that you have that before you start scooping, and then we'll meet right back up where we'll start chaining, and this one will have a different chain count to start and to the end to make this like a cascade waterfall. We are now on the middle. We are now on the middle one, so now we're just going to start like we did before with a slip knot. Okay, and now we're going to chain only 5 this time. So last time was 7, this is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we begin to slide 1 bead up, go around it, and 1. And next one, so bead up, remember what I said before, 1 and 2. So bead up, 1 and 2, and continue to do that for the rest of the line, and we'll meet back up where we're going to finish this particular chain. So I'm on my very last one of the middle line here, so that was 1. Okay, so now I'm going to count out to 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Leaving your hook in, just grabbing the other side, and just let's take a quick look and make sure that they are balanced, and they are. It's good. And now I just want to trim. Like I normally did. Nail clippers are the best ways to trim, by the way. They're really nice and smooth cut, nice and even every time. And then we pull snug, and we pull snug on the other side as well. And so this is the middle one of the two, and you will notice that this line is slightly smaller than the last one. So let's get our beading tray back down again and finalize the final line here. So again, just grabbing your wire and stringing up your beads like you did before. And we'll pick back up where we start chaining again. Okay, the last line is now strung up, so let's begin again, just like you did before. Actually, that tail's a little too generous. You don't want to waste the wire, it can be pricey. The price of your necklace basically is dependent on the price of the materials that you use, of course. So if you're going to use expensive materials, then you really can't charge 10 bucks for your necklace, and I would never charge 10 bucks for this anyway, because it's too fabulous anyway, and I know there's more than $10 worth of material in here. So let's begin again. So we've got it onto the hook, and now we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and move down 1. So let's begin all that again. So this is 1 and 2. Move in the next one, 1 and 2, and continue to go down to the rest of the project here, and then we'll pick back up at the end of this chain, and we'll finish this off and begin fastening everything together. Okay, I'm on my last bead of the last line, and so we're just going to go through, and now we're going to go through with the chaining of 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, well maybe you're not, but I'm telling you anyway. Think to yourself, okay, I chained 3 in the beginning, why do I chain 4 at the final? And that's because the final one here that you see actually disappears, watch. Like so. Okay, so what's going to happen is you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to pull it, and that one disappears. So you have 3 and you have 3. Okay, so to pull this one tight and that one disappears. So that's exactly why you go. So when we did 7 on one side, we did chaining of 8 on the other, and then 5 we did 6 on the other side. So that's exactly why we're doing what we're doing. So let's begin now. We're going to do the fun part and start fastening this bad boy together, and now you can really start to see if everything that you worked out on the beading tray is actually going to work out. So you're done with the wire. So now let's bring in the toggles. So we're now going to bring in some toggling here, and these are pretty wild and chunky, and we're going to need some crimping tubes, and we need a total of 4 only. And what we just do is that we put it in on one side, and then we fasten it in again with a secondary toggle, our crimping tube, and then we do the other for the other side. So what I want to do now is that I want to kind of pick this up and start really lining it up and seeing how it's going to work. Remember, this is wire, so if this is too short or too long, I can always shrink it. It's better to pull it though than it is to shrink it, and just to be aware. So what I want to do is kind of put everything together. I don't want to braid these, but you can braid them if you want to. But what I want to do is kind of put them in order on how they appear on somebody's chest. So that's our next part of this process. Okay, so I'm going to try my best at this. This is now the shortest chain of the 3, and what I want to do is I want to put them in order. So then this is the middle longest, the middle longest. This is the middle one, the middle length, and then I want to do the large, just like so. And I want to put them all together just like so. And I want to kind of keep them organized like that, so when I go to flip this bad boy over, that I'm actually going to remember that. So I want to twist the last section all together. Twist. I'm twisting and pulling up. Okay, and I'm not going to braid them, but you could braid them if you want to. And now I'm just going to pick them up and just flip this over, and you will see that there's different lengths on this side of the equation, which is good. So now I'm going to flip it, but keeping it in order. Okay, just like so. And using the last ones, I'm going to twist. So now that I have it, you will notice that they are looking somewhat like this. So you can actually see that they start cascading. You can actually see when you hold it freely like this, it will bend over on its own, just like so. And now that almost looks perfect, just like so. So let's begin, go back down to the table and begin to do our toggling. And we are almost done this complete project. Okay, what I like to do is I like to put my toggles out in front of me here. I have done this before where I've left them inside of a tray and that I've actually put 2 of the same things on both sides, like a dummy. So what I just do is I leave one out. So what I want to do now is that we have different lengths of wire here. I'm going to trim them so they are all equal, just like so. Okay, and we're going to continue to twist up again so that they stay together. Let's grab a crimping tube at this point and slide it on. Okay, so let's slide it all the way down like a fireman going down a pole. And let's put on your toggle piece. And now let's begin to bend over. So you see I didn't put that toggle all the way down. You don't have to yet. It could slide down on its own too, just like you just saw. So I want to put all 3 through this toggle, or sorry, this crimping tube. Now what you got to watch is that there's different sizes of crimping tubes out on the market. Sometimes you can't get all of your wire through, so sometimes you have to divide the wires into pieces and do it separately, so you might actually have 2. And now grabbing your needle nose pliers, just grab one at a time. Okay, and I like to hold it. See, I'm holding it down by the actual, so I don't hold it over here, I'm holding it by here, and it's going to pull this in. It's going to, so I still have a section to go, so I want to continue to pull again. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the other ones down. I haven't gone down enough. Okay, just like so, and I just want to slide this down further. I still have this whole section to go, so I'm going to try to force it. There you go. Got it. This wire, once you get used to it, you know exactly what tolerances you got. So once you pull one down, the rest of them will just come down like really easily. So you want the toggle to have some play in it so it doesn't get hung up on anything, and we want to squeeze it shut. Let's rewrap these wires back together into 3 so that they're all back together. Let's grab another crimping tube and slide it on. So this is kind of my own, it probably exists on the marketplace, but I always put 2 toggles or 2 crimping tubes on these things, and I put it right near to the end, just like so. So I'm putting it near the end, and you're like, well, that's kind of dumb, and I'm just going to trim it so that they're all equal. The reason why I'm doing that is that I found with my first generation of bracelets I did, when I didn't do that, these wires like to jab into skin. They seem to find the skin on your arms really easily. So I put a crimping tube there, and I bend the wire over top of the crimping tube. Okay, so you keep it all together. So now when it's on some lady, it's not going to stab her. So let's begin to twist these all the way around. Twist. You can work your way down if you want to, or just stay where you were. And once we get about maybe a thumbnail length, what I want to do is that I want to take the pliers and I want to feed this edge through some of the actual chain work itself. Because if you don't do that, this has a tendency to unravel itself. So wire kind of like gets stuck on wire. So now that it's through, it won't just fall off, right? And so what I just do at the final edge is that I give this an extra few good turns. Do not be over tight with these things. You will snap wire, and therefore it's now buried inside the chain, so nobody really can see it. And now we're just going to go and do the other side exactly the same way, but using the other toggle instead. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off my sample piece. This is the original that I was watching, and now I want to put on my new one. Okay, so this is a styrofoam, or actually it's cardboard, and then it's just layered with a nice black velvet. I found the cheapest rates to buy these things, by the way. These are cheapest online. I actually just picked up 10 similar ones for only $20 online. So that's one of those things where a crafting store is kind of, not always the place to shop. So what we want to do now is just kind of look at it. Is it balanced? Is it equal? And if it's not equal, what you can just do is undo the toggles and just kind of pull on it if you want to, but I don't want to pull on this because look at it, it's like perfect. Look how they're all just cascading just equally, but when they come together they all just look like it's all randomized idea. So this is a really fabulous necklace. I really like it. Again, you can just change things as it matches your personality. This is really quite eccentric, really wild. But I just have a policy: if you're going to wear jewelry, wear it big, bold, and beautiful. And again, you can tame down anything you want to when it comes to doing this tutorial. On behalf of All Free Crochet, I'm your host Mikey, wishing you a great day.